Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Secondary Heroes podcast. It's time for Secondary Shorts, our weekly check on what we're watching and what's trending in pop culture. It's September 25th, 2020. This is your host, Trevor. Joining me, as usual, is...
Hey, guys, it's Prague.
This is Josh.
And I'm dealing with a fussy baby. This is DeLorean Wolfgang.
Oh, Josh, you're up at it again, huh?
Oh, man, I get cranky when I don't get my sleep.
I gotta give you your baba.
Oh, the baba.
Josh, you want your passy? You want your passy?
I like our Secondary Shorts ASMR segment here.
Gross.
With the sucky sounds. I like it. Oh, God, I've been locked inside for so long.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm on the tail end of my paternity leave, and I'm like so nervous because I'm like, oh no, I gotta go back to work. This is not gonna be as fun.
No, not gonna be able to watch all these shows anymore. All these crappy daytime soaps and stuff.
Oh, I am watching a lot of TV. Actually, I just watched 2 hours of Poker Stars on TV.
Wow, you are desperate for content. Okay. Holy moly.
Oh my God. Yeah,
if you want sports so bad, you're like, I'll watch people play poker.
Well, I can't get the football game this Thursday night, so
Don't worry.
Well.
Yeah, Miami, Jacksonville. So.
It is a hot game.
Fitz magic, baby. Well,
Yeah.
tomorrow everybody will know the score. I have no idea what. Anyways,
Miami's blowing them out.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Lakers are playing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be here watching this.
For the people at home, we record on Thursday nights.
Yes.
If you didn't know.
Spoiler, I'm pretty sure at the start I just said it was September 25th. I thought people thought that we would record like
statement.
day of.
No, we use his DeLorean to
Practically
travel
live.
through time. No,
Practically
it's all the
live.
DeLorean.
Yeah, there's like a 7-second delay just in case. That's about it.
For that car horn. Okay, so what are you guys listening to? Watching. Listening to.
Listening
Good
to,
God.
watching, you know.
I listen to my radio programs.
I listen to my little orphan
NPR.
Annie show. The radio serial. With my Ovaltine. That's what I do. I sit in front of my radio. Listen to her. It's fun.
There you go.
No, that's not. What are you guys watching? Because mine might rail on for quite a bit. I don't want to derail everything.
I'll just go.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So, oh man, it's been probably, I don't remember when I brought this up, but a few weeks ago I had mentioned that I watched this show called Married at First Sight. So,
Oh, that's still going on.
I went to visit my sister a while back, and the new season started, and so I started watching it again.
Oh, and your life has been fulfilled.
Yeah, so
He's in love again.
This one it's interesting. This one's based in New Orleans, so Beef Squatch. I might find some cameos of you in there.
Just walking by, sauntering by.
Just look for the giant in the background.
Yeah.
Huh?
So let's see how it goes. It's a very entertaining group of people that they have this season. So if anybody's into that kind of stuff, I would check it out if I were y'all.
I don't know. Are people
Alex
into
might
that
be.
stuff?
I don't
Are
know.
people into that
This is
stuff? I don't know.
It's gonna be interesting though. It's gonna happen during the pandemic, so. So
They're actually filming it right now. It's not what wasn't taped earlier, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Yes, so let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Nice. Well,
Especially a reality TV show.
Yeah.
Are they making out with masks on?
Oh, it's hot.
I haven't got to that point yet.
Well, they probably all had to do their own whatever the test, and okay, you guys are all good. Now we're gonna lock you in this area.
Yep.
Yeah, well, yeah, because the episode I just finished, they teased the next episode showing that the pandemic's going on. So I don't know what's gonna happen yet. So
Stupendous.
yeah,
Loving the times of coronavirus. I never watched that.
Well, myself, Josh, I believe it was last week or the week before, you mentioned you got Tony Hawk. I also got Tony Hawk, and I am loving it.
So you're not bored of it yet.
I'm curious. What's the color of the board on the other side?
Oh, so it didn't come with grip tape. It's got a wood grain look.
Oh, it's interesting because they either had a blue, green, and yours is the first I've seen as wood grain.
I love this wood grain.
Wait, do you not get to choose?
No.
It just comes. I thought initially green was going to be for Xbox and blue was going to be for PlayStation. But
Oh, that would have been cool.
So it's been totally random.
Makes sense.
So, if you're not watching on YouTube, I just showed that I've got the collector's edition board from Tony Hawk. But I have been playing hours. I've had my baby sitting on my chest while I'm sitting there playing, and her screaming in my ear, and I'm like, I don't care. I've got to finish this level.
So what skater have you chosen?
Rodney Mullen, all the way.
Oh,
okay.
Dude,
All
Rodney
right.
Mullen's the best.
I never chose Rodney when I was
I
playing.
am
All right.
killing this game, though. I forget. Okay, so I forgot how hard it can be, but at the same time, it's super easy and fun.
Remember, that one scene where he's in the warehouse and you have like multiple levels to it, like tiers to it. And I always remember that being the hardest level, but I love that level, even though it was the hardest.
Yeah, but
That was a good time, man.
it's definitely a look back. Like the graphics are so good on it, but because I played it as a kid, I don't even think about the graphics anymore. I'm just thinking of, okay, this is how I'm going to do my combo. And I actually text Josh earlier this week while I was playing, and I'm like, playing on the Xbox sucks because I'm used to playing. First, I played on the N64, easy controller to play on the N64. Then I played on PlayStation 2, easy small controller. Now I've got this big fat Xbox controller where I'm having to throw my middle finger and other fingers all over
You're like
the place.
throwing up gang signs as you play.
Oh,
like,
pretty much. That's what it feels like. But dude, it's so much fun. I'm loving it. Yeah. I'm stuck right now on Venice Beach on Tony Hawk 2.
Oh, okay.
I remember Venice Beach.
Yeah.
All right. Very nice, dude. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Soon it will be mine.
Did
what
anybody
about you,
pre-order
Trevor?
the new consoles?
Oh, I guess I did. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Josh did because I didn't.
I heard that it was tough to pre-order, that it was tough to get to.
It's just patience. You just have to be patient. And
So you just
I
hear
heard it's a
refresh,
virtue.
right?
yeah. So was it last week was PlayStation, which was a little bit easy because it was very chaotic. It's just everybody was just popping up everywhere.
Yeah, it went up a day early.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then Xbox was planned, which was if you experienced PlayStation, you'd rather had that experience instead of Xbox where bots were ready to go. Like, oh, this time I'll be ready. So it crashed at probably every site. If you did the first one was Microsoft. I went to, then Target, Walmart, Best Buy. They all had a hard time with them, and then Amazon obviously just went smooth. So
There you go.
I lucked out with
Nice.
those two.
Did you get
Those
the
Bezos
disc or the non-disc?
The disc.
See,
Okay,
I would
alright.
think getting the disc would be the smart idea there.
Yeah, I don't think I'm there yet to do all digital, but that's
Yeah.
just me.
Yeah, I like it. So like the Tony Hawk, I bought the disc because I like having the physical copy of it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Makes sense.
That's an old person thing. I get
It
it.
is.
It is, but that's the thing is I also don't have a big hard drive for my Xbox. So, I mean, it's almost full and I've only got like maybe 10 games on there.
That's a good point, actually, as well, because I need to buy an external hard drive, which are not cheap, as we
Exactly.
found out this week.
And I don't need another thing cluttering up my living room.
Yeah.
They showed the price for the external hard drives for the Xbox, and it's like $229 or something like that.
Yeah, it's
So
ridiculous.
Yeah,
pretty
I
much
don't
paying
play
now.
enough video games to even need that. Shoot, whenever I text, and I did text you, Josh, about this, whenever I put that game disc in the Xbox, it had to do a 5 gig update just to play the game. I'm like, what happened to the days of just putting in a disc and playing?
Gone. They're gone.
Gone.
sir.
gone.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you get the disc instead of just downloading the digital file.
Still gonna be the
So
same
then I'm
size.
sitting there downloading something anyways. I mean,
I
I'd
know.
rather-
So why do you need the disc if you have to download something? Is what I'm saying.
Oh,
You might as well just
no.
download it.
Good point.
because the download's most likely going to be 30 gigs rather than the 5 gigs.
Eh.
But you don't have the stupid disc, and you don't have to wait for the mail, which is 10
You know what
years.
else I don't have is the hard drive, so I don't care. I got the disc, which I wanted because that was the only way to get.
You know the
board.
Series X has like a big, huge hard drive on it, right?
She said.
Let's move on. I don't care. I don't play enough video games to care.
Then you don't have to worry about the disc if you don't play enough video games. You can delete the old. You don't even need to keep 10 games on your box.
But I
This is
want
fun.
don't
them
play
all
enough
on
video
them.
games.
Let me grab some popcorn here.
Anyways, so
Might as well
what's going on
save
next?
money. I didn't pre-order anything, so I saved a bunch of money.
I've saved a bunch of money by switching away from Xbox.
Did you really? Did you go to PlayStation now?
No,
No,
I
you just
have the
switched to
Switch.
nothing.
I switched.
Yeah.
Well, technically,
Oh,
nothing.
you got a
Switch.
Switch.
I did.
Gotcha.
Switching things up in the apocalypse.
Gotcha.
Anyways, let's move on. What we got, Trevor? Anything this week?
I guess.
Uh-oh.
So I kind of mentioned it during episode 78. If you haven't listened, be sure to do so. It's all about the cool versions of bringing characters back from popular history and all that cool fun stuff.
Mhm.
But one character or all the characters that you can kill off and no one cares is from Ozark, because they have driven that show into the ground as purposely as they possibly could. Because imagine if you had an amazing first season, kind of like Stranger Things, amazing first season. You're like, this is an interesting, surprising, really well acted and scripted. It's like, okay, cool. So then they bring back season 2 and you're like, season 2 is not as good as season 1. But then they're like, hey, guess what? We have season 3. It's even worse than season 2. And you're like, no, that can't even be possible.
That can't be
They
possible.
did it. That's what's so impressive, because you have really good acting. And so you need a really terrible script to look past the acting. The script has to be just completely bonkers and asinine, where you're like, that's totally stupid. No existence in any time in human history would make the decisions they create. But somehow it happens again and again. So I'll give them credit. Episodes 4 through 6 are pretty good. There's a sequence in episode 6, like the first 6 minutes, where it's just Marty talking to Wendy, which is outstanding. It's kind of like when Carm talks to Tony in season 4 of Sopranos. It has that similar vibe going on. Yeah. Everything else is just absolute utter garbage, with the biggest plot holes I've seen in anything. Like, you watch terrible movies like, Croctopus. Ozark has more plot holes than Croctopus or Sharknado or any stupid sci-fi movie that you could possibly come up with, because they're trying to create a character without taking the time. Like, in movies where you only have 2 hours, so you don't have time for character development. Ozark's like, what if we did that for a TV show? Like, the benefit of a TV show is that we have 10 episodes to work with. What if we got rid of that stupid idea of character development and just had the characters do stupid things for 10 episodes with no basis for any of the decisions they make? And then you get Ozark season 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
It wasn't that hot. You're right. It wasn't as hot of a take as I was expecting, but still, it's a mildly warm take.
It's just so disappointing, because Ozark was so good in season 1. It was, when I finished it, I'm like, this is one of my favorite shows. Like, I would say top 5 shows currently. And then by season 3, I'm like, well, who cares? Now you're in the bundle with Stranger Things, where you don't really care when a new season comes, or the bundle of Umbrella Academy. All these seasons are so promising and so interesting, but then there's 50 million TV shows. I won't even care when season 4 comes around. I'll watch it eventually 2 years down the road and complain of the stupid plot holes, but thankfully that will be the last season ever.
There you go. I like your Stranger Things analogy, though, because that's the one that makes kind of the most sense for this series, because I kind of felt the same way. I wasn't quite as heated as you, but yeah, I felt the same way. The season 1 is absolutely phenomenal, and then it just kind of goes downhill to where even season 3, I was like, I don't know if I want to keep watching this. I happen to like some of the actors a lot, so I'm like, I'm going to stick through this. And
you got to stick it out. It's just, once you get to a point where you can tell the writers made this to be a big, huge deal for the audience, and you're laughing or ambivalent to what's happening, they lost you. Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of the whole, riverboat coup that Wendy was up to, and with Helen, and But anyways,
God, it's been so long since I've watched that show that I forgot
I have no idea
about the riverboat casino.
Right, because you're like, nope, I'm not gonna remember that crap. So anyway,
it would have been better if it's kind of like Stranger Things, where if they would have done it so each season is its own place. Like we did Hawkins, Indiana. Now we go to some random place in Ohio, or here's some random place in Missouri, or whatever have you. Like we have all these different things that are happening. And these are really tight sequenced 8 episodes, character development, new casts. And then you don't have to worry about the kids showing up and they're like 50 years old. You can just have a whole new cast of kids.
So
and
kind of
they did their whole thing. All you can do in Missouri. And so go somewhere else now. Launder money somewhere else.
So it's kind of like the True Detective approach.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoy. It's like, okay, let's take the same idea, but cast different people in different areas and maybe even different times, and it works out pretty well.
Because then you can keep the story fresher. Because now you have so much history with these characters of going through stuff. You really can't go back on the things they've gone through.
True. Well said. Anyway.
And I wish
There you
Netflix
go.
let me discover shows that didn't come out over the past month, and let me find some show that may be older than that, or they didn't spend $200 million to make it and they don't need to get their investment back. Please, Netflix, hire some
Please.
people to create a recommendation engine. You like this show, so you'll like these shows.
Right. It's not, you like this show, so you must love this brand new show we just pumped all this money into, which I get all the time. I'm like, no, Netflix, that's not what I want. Yeah, I feel you there. So on that note, that pivots perfectly because I've been so sick of that. Like, I've really been like wanting to find something new to watch, and I didn't know what it was. And I think I was kind of burnt out on these kind of really heavy genre specific or even character driven shows. I'm like, I just need to find something else. I didn't know where to really turn. And then a video popped up on YouTube that was like a recommendation, right? Because of their algorithms based on something else I watched. And it is a channel called Bald Bankrupt. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the guy behind me. That's literally the name of his channel because he is bald and he actually went bankrupt. And after that, he didn't know what to do. So his friends suggested, why don't you just film your excursions that you were going to do anyways? You might be able to make money that way. So he's like, all right, he's pretty shy and didn't want to be in front of the camera. And he went off and decided to take a GoPro and travel through the world. And what he does is he travels to some of the most dangerous places, some of the places that people would never want to go to, and see why. Like, why do people not come here? Why don't tourists come here? What's going on in this country? It's absolutely fascinating. But the series of videos that I enjoyed the most were his trek through the old Soviet Republic, all the Eastern Bloc and all these different countries that were once controlled by the Soviet Empire, and seeing what have become of them. Like, what happens after the empire falls? What happens to the people, to their culture, to the land, to the architecture? It's absolutely fascinating because he's fluent in Russian because his ex-wife was Russian. So it's easy for him to walk up to strangers on the street.
Is that how he became bankrupt? He had to pay for his Russian wife.
That's a good one. No, he actually had like a small business and some debtors or something. I don't know. His story's up on his blog if you are interested in how he became bankrupt. But he wears that kind of as a badge of honor. He's like, he knew people would make fun of him, so he's like, fine, I'm going to be called Bald Bankrupt. That's going to be my name. But what's really fascinating is that he like goes into these villages that these people have probably never seen an outsider like in 80 years or more. They're like, what is this tall, English speaking person walking around our neighborhood with this video camera? And everyone just comes out and they like follow him. Like, kids will like run with him down the street and try to talk to him in like their regional dialects, and he has no idea what they're saying, but they won't stop talking to him. And
I feel like this is right up my buddy Jimmy's alley. Like,
yeah,
this
it
is
was going to
something
be a
that he
show that I was going to recommend to him. I feel like he would really enjoy this because it's definitely something that you would not normally, like I would not normally watch. But what he does is something that's very similar to what Anthony Bourdain used to do. And I really miss that guy, miss his shows. But what he does, he will go into people's homes because he gets invited in. People are just like, oh my God, come into our house, please. Like,
look at our stuff.
Look at our stuff. Let me make you a home meal and everything. So he sits down in these people's homes who have like almost next to nothing, and they'll cook him up an entire meal and drink with him and play music and songs. And he shows like, well, I was told that your city is absolutely dangerous. People say that the Russians are evil, and it's like, but I'm not seeing that. And they're like, yeah, we know. We get a bad rap. It's a lot of propaganda. There's, it's such a vast continent out there full of people. But they're all spread out too.
That's the thing is, like, you hear all these stories. For instance, I live very close to the Mexican border. I can go down to Mexico, and I love going down to Rosarito, going down to Baja, stuff like that, get lobsters and whatnot. But everybody always says, be careful going down there. Right. You're going to get your head cut off.
Be careful. Right. Yeah. They say
and
that.
I go every year. It's like it's fun to go down there. It's a blast.
Yeah. I've been to Mexico. I've been to like the poorest parts of Mexico, and yeah, people come up to you and they're fine and friendly. I mean, this guy, he has people like hugging him that like just met him. Like, people come up to him all the time. They're excited. They all look out their windows. And he's like, he's like in England, people don't do this because he's British. You know, he's like if they saw someone walking down the street, a stranger, people aren't going to come running out of their homes and say, "Oh my gosh, please come in, come in, let me show you what, our culture and talk to you and make meals for you."
It's so true. I mean, when I was down in Mexico, I was at an ATM and a guy offered me some cocaine. I mean, they are some friendly.
They're so friendly.
People. They're so friendly. I'm like, I'm okay, as I'm putting in my PIN and he's watching. But
nice.
I mean, it felt safe.
That's funny because he does actually come across some people that were like smoking a fat bomb in the middle of like this like beautiful abandoned like Soviet baths, like this like old architecture. It's absolutely fascinating.
So this sounds like you're recommending this.
I would recommend it if you're looking for something that's just completely different and looking to open up your worldview. Because I didn't really like, I watched a lot of travel stuff, but I had never really watched anything about the Soviet Empire or these, former Soviet republics. Like I didn't really know much about that history. And he's a Soviet history buff. Like he grew up as a kid fascinated by Soviet history. So he's walking around telling you everything about all the architecture and what happened there. And just the massive.
You really dig this show.
Oh, I do. It's fascinating because it's raw. It's like he doesn't have a film crew that comes around him. There's no script. He does he like breaks into people's lands, like walks across it, like I hope I don't get shot, and he just like will walk across their land to get to like a bunker that he sees because he wants to go visit it.
We'll know what happens when his show stops airing.
He might. You never know. I worry about that. I'm like, I don't know. He does some weird stuff.
Well, I'm going to cut you off because I think we have some other stuff to talk about.
I told you I was going to rail on a bit too long, so I recommend
No, but that's great, though. I mean, it sounds pretty interesting. I actually don't mind having a gander.
So how do you watch this?
You watch this on YouTube. So just go to YouTube. His name is Bald and Bankrupt.
Nice.
So one funny little aside I do have to mention. Roses are red, sandwiches grilled. Millennial couple bikes through ISIS territory to prove humans are kind and get killed.
Okay, nice. Was that a limerick?
That's your clickbait of the week, folks.
Yes, indeed.
That's
well,
pretty
funny. He didn't visit ISIS yet that I know of. Maybe he has.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Season 2.
Yep.
Well, we're probably running out of time, so I'm not going to go into... I started Schitt's Creek, so
oh, nice.
I'll talk about that another time, though.
All right. Next week.
The Emmy Award sweeping Schitt's Creek.
Yep.
Yep.
They did sweep up the Emmys, that's for sure.
So that's everything for Secondary Shorts for September 25th. Be sure to follow at Secondary Heroes everywhere you possibly can and leave us a review on iTunes and go listen to us on Anchor and watch us on YouTube and leave us comments and interact with us because we'll interact back.
All the above. Oh, and speaking of interacting back, I just want to give a quick shout out to Big Jeff _nerd on Twitter. He wrote us for our last episode, our last main episode, and he just had some really kind words to say about our podcast. And I just wanted to give him a shout out just because, we want to let our fans know that we see you.
Yeah, Jeff's a good guy.
Yeah. Very cool,
Jeff.
man. So thank you for listening, man.
Thank you to all our listeners and to everyone listening. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll talk to you next time.
Peace out.
Yep.
DeLorean Wolfgang, fussing out.